Hey guys, it's Nika and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought it would be fun to start a new thing on my channel. So I'm going to start doing Storytime Sundays. So every Sunday I will have a new story time. So if you like these Storytime videos, then just tune in for Sundays. It'd be really cool if you could check out my other videos. So today I am going to be telling you the story of when I was bitten by a dog. I was rushed to the ER. So this story actually takes place when my husband and I were still dating. So we would always go out for walks. We would always go through this park. This park was actually where he asked me to be his girlfriend and where he proposed. So it's a very special park. So this one night, Malcolm came and picked me up for a walk, and then we started walking. And if you know the area I'm talking about in this story, if you know where I went to college, then you probably know which town I'm talking about. So on the way to this park, if you walk going down the highway, there's a Canadian Tire, a Tim Hortons, and a Safeway. And then with the Safeway, there's like this big parking lot, and it has like a gas station there. And yeah, anyways, we were walking, we passed by the Tim Hortons. I had this feeling that someone was in the back of us, and so I looked back, and it was just this guy on his bike with his little dog. You can probably tell what's gonna happen. And so I kept walking. So Malcolm was on this side and I was on this side. When the guy drove past us, he probably had earbuds on, but he drove past us, and the dog takes a bite at my leg. So the guy keeps going with his dog, and I'm like just in shock. And then I let loose and have a panic attack, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get rabies. Trying to keep my cool because it was just when we started dating, and I didn't want him to think that I was high maintenance or whatever. I was like, what do I do? And I think he wanted to go chase after the guy to tell him what happened, but he didn't want to leave me on the side of the road. He ended up helping me up, and he helped me over to the curb, and we sat there, and Malcolm was like, what do I do? What do I do? And so I said, call someone. So I gave him my cell phone. Of course, it's low service. I was like, oh crap. Hopefully someone can understand us, or someone will get our text message. And it was just crazy trying to find someone. But one of the girls in dorm actually was able and free to pick us up. And so she showed up, so Malcolm helped me get into the car, and we drove to the hospital. And I was in so much pain. I was trying not to cry in front of someone that I knew from school. I must have looked like such a baby. So he bit me on my right calf, and once we got to the hospital, Malcolm ran in and got a wheelchair, and he put me on it, and then we were like, okay, thanks for the ride. And she's like, no problem. We went to the front desk. Malcolm explained everything that happened, and she was like, okay, we have you registered and everything. She gave me the bracelet, whatever. And so me and Malcolm sat down, and anyway, she was like, okay, the doctor will be with you very soon. And when she said very soon, she meant that we would be waiting 2 hours in the waiting room area. And I was like, oh, how long are we gonna be here? 2 hours later, as I said, we all called in to where you see the doctor actually on this I don't know, it's like one of those beds that you go into surgery with. And literally when I saw that, I thought I was going into surgery and they were going to amputate my leg. So we waited in a little hallway for at least an hour. Finally, this doctor comes and is like, so what can I do for you? And Malcolm explained what happened, and then he says, well, maybe the first thing we should do is clean it. Did the nurse clean it? And I was like, no. I was still panicking after those hours, and so he was like, yeah, we should clean it first and we'll take it from there. I was like, okay. No, it was another nurse, I think, and she was like, okay, you're going to feel a slight sting. And when she said slight sting, she actually meant that you're gonna feel like your leg is being melted off by chemicals. And then the doctor came back in and inspected it and he said, okay, so the dog's teeth did sink in. I'm sorry if this is graphic, but the doctor was like, looks like the dog kind of went in a little bit, but it's not enough to get stitches. We're going to have to give you some shots and you're gonna have to come in one more times to get some follow-up shots. I don't know if they're like rabies shots or tetanus shots, or I don't know what they call it. But anyways, he was like, yeah, so we're gonna give you some shots. And that hurt a lot. Like, by the time we were let go, it was already like 3 o'clock in the morning and Malcolm was grumpy, I was grumpy, I was crying still, I was tired. He actually lived fairly close to the hospital. Like, I was able to put my arm around his like neck area and I limped all the way. It maybe took us, it was probably like maybe a 5-10 minute walk to get to his house, and it literally took us like half an hour to get there. Anyways, what happened was he ended up getting his roommate up at 3 o'clock in the morning. They just both dropped me off at dorm and that was it. That's how I got bit by a dog and had to wait for hours in the ER. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you stay tuned to my next video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!